Hello, my Facebook Live friends. It's Candy here from SweetStamper.com, and welcome to your weekly Tuesday Facebook Live video. This is where I actually started with Tuesday at 2 about a year ago, and then I kind of migrated for several months to Tuesday at 10, and I'm back on officially Tuesday at 2. So every Tuesday, I will be here at 2 o'clock for Facebook Live. Welcome. Somebody has just joined me. I'm so glad you're here, Rosemary. I've got some really fun things to show you today. I'm doing a technique, and so this is going to be hardcore stamping today. This is going to be an avid stamping project. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to take me a little bit of time, and but I think that it's going to be fun. So we'll wait for just a couple of minutes, not long. We'll wait for just a couple of minutes to see if anybody else is going to jump on here live. And of course, if you're catching the video later, that is one of the beautiful things about Facebook Live is if you can't catch us live because you're at work or you're otherwise engaged, then you can catch us later on the video. So again, I will give it just a couple of minutes. I am so happy about the fact that our temperatures have dropped dramatically here in San Antonio, so we're enjoying some cool fall weather finally. We are, one week into October, and we had the hottest September on record. So it wasn't just my imagination, it was feeling just dreadfully hot so late in the year. But we are out of September, we are into October, and although the temperatures are going to spike again, I think Thursday and maybe Friday, we're going to be popping back down again into the lower temperatures. So I am going to, you know what I'm going to do really quick before I hop on and start doing our project. Let me just grab my computer so that if anybody is making a comment that I can see that while I'm stamping. Hold on one second. Okay, I forgot to do that. I usually try to have this over here so that I can see, because once I turn my phone down to video the project, I can't really see because it's up higher than where I can, and of course I'm using my hands, I'm working, so I can't really see what's happening. Okay, let's see, there I am. Okay, there is, okay. Okay, Rosemary, it's you and me here for some fun technique stamping. Okay, here we go. Let me go ahead and flip the camera down and see how. Yes, we are there. Okay. So you can see I got a lot of stuff here. And that is by design. So what I'm going to do is I'm featuring a, a technique card. But before I do that, I'm going to show you one thing here, well actually two things. And that is this Everything Rosy product medley is something that was offered through Stampin' Up! In May, and it was only offered for the month of May, and then it went away. And this was the very first product medley that Stampin' Up! Did, and a product medley, we have one in the holiday catalog right now. It consists of cool stickers and gorgeous designer series paper. It has ribbons typically, and this one has this more casual ruched flirty flamingo ribbon, and then possibly my favorite ribbon of all time, this gorgeous Night of Navy ribbon with this, rose gold edging on here that just ties beautifully. And it just has so many cool things. One of the fun things it also has, only available in this kit, is rose gold shimmer paint. So lots of cool things, and the reason I'm showing you this is because it is back while supplies last. So this is available in the clearance rack, believe it or not. It's 15% off the original price, so great value. And I have a set of tutorials that I would be happy to send you. and I created these projects and absolutely love them. They all have the exact same layout, just showing you how you can take a simple layout and make lots of different cards, which makes very quick prep. And you could switch out different greetings if you wanted to, but time to celebrate all the lovely things in life starting with you. I think that covers a lot of ground. So this tutorial I have for you when you purchase the Everything is Rosy bundle. And I just think it's phenomenal. Look at the stamps on here. These are really year-round stamps because the leaves can be used any time of year, and the flowers too, depending on the color you make the flowers. And I'm going to kind of show you how you can take flowers and bring them into whatever time of year you want with our project today. But I thought that these are just lovely, lovely greetings, and it's a photopolymer stamp set. There are dies here, and the dies will punch out the flowers and the leaves and such, but they also, I love, love, love this die here that creates this branch with the rose gold foil, or you could use it with cardstock, but I just adore this rose gold foil. You can see I used it a lot. So anyway, that is available beginning today, and it's while supplies last in the clearance rack for 15% off the original price. I think the original price was $70, but don't quote me on that. I'm fairly certain of the accuracy of that, but not totally. So again, these are just, it all features the rose gold, and that's why it was called Everything is Rosy. I mean, look at that designer paper. Is that not just to die for? Of course, you have some more subtle patterns on the back, but I love rose gold. I've loved it since I was a kid. My dad was stationed with the embassy in Venezuela back in the 70s when Venezuela was very different and our relations with the country were very different. Sad thing that's happened in the country. It's a beautiful, beautiful country, but I spent part of my childhood in Caracas, and rose gold was something that was a popular thing in their jewelry. And so I have some beautiful pieces that my daddy got me when we lived there, and so I've had a long, kind of lifelong love of rose gold. So that's what I wanted to show you today that has nothing to do with what I'm stamping here. So what I've got today for you is a fall card. Let me show you where we're going first. So this is my fall card. And yes, these are fall flowers because you can take any flower really, change up the colors, and create the season that you want. So this is using the baby wipe technique. So that is what I'm going to be showing you today. This is all just stamp, ink, and paper. Obviously there's some punching here, but there's nothing, this is nothing fancy other than stamp, ink, and paper. I'm using the Floral Essence stamp set, and this has a coordinating punch. And it is this one here, so you can get this in a bundle in our catalog right now. I love the fact that you can take that punch, and you'll see what I do with it in a few minutes, how you can layer it and make lots of different shapes or sizes of flowers. So this bundle is in our annual catalog, and almost everything I'm using today is annual catalog, even though we are in the midst of kind of holiday catalog frenzy. And I'm also featuring the Regal's 6x6 designer paper. I love these colors for this time of year because they're deep and they're rich, and they go everywhere from fall up through Christmas because of the reds and the greens and the oranges and the pumpkins and just so many pretty colors. Purples that are, you can use for really fall or Christmas. So that's the paper I'm using today, and just to kind of show you, I had used that paper on this set of cards that I made for my Cuckoo Clock class, and so you can see how these cards really fit right into the time of year that we are in right now. And so these colors are just rich and beautimous. And you can see even the Cuckoo Clock images, you know, you can use for fall and even for, yes, Christmas. But I was really showcasing the designer series paper, and here I mean, on this one, I paired the Rich Razzleberry paper with the Pretty Posy, which I think is a really nice combination. And it's a, you know, another way to kind of brighten up some of those fall colors. So that is my share on using the Regal's Designer Series paper stack. Okay, let's get into how we're going to make this card. So the one thing I have on here that's not annual catalog is I use the greeting from Gather Together, this beautiful stamp set from the holiday catalog. Okay, let's see. I think I am going to try to bring my camera down just a little bit. Yeah, get you a little bit closer. Yeah, there we go. That way we can see the stamping a little bit better. Okay, here we go. So this is the Baby White technique, and it's super fun to do. So here is my card kit, and I decided to use Mango Melody with Rich Razzleberry and Mossy Meadow. Now you can see what I've done here with the papers, and this is a fun thing to do. I've just switched out, and I'm going to go this way and this way. So this is the fun that you can have with these designer paper patterns. And just look at those rich, rich colors for fall. I love Mango Melody for fall because it's brighter than pumpkin pie, and it just really brings I believe some much needed brightness to our fall projects. Now, I opted to do these in such a way that I didn't overlap them and bring them together. I kept them a little bit apart. I need to shave that one down just a wee tiny bit because I think my cutting was a little bit off there. Let me pull this down just a tiny, tiny bit. I liked having that little bit of space in the middle to bring in, you see how the different look, if you do this, it's pretty. But I wanted to have just a wee bit more of that Mango Melody because it really serves to brighten. And of course, you can do it this way, and you can do it this. I love, love, love these patterns because they're very interchangeable, and you can just do a lot with them. So this is the Regal's Designer Series paper. Now I'm bringing this way over to the edge so that I have a little bit of space right in between there. Here we go. So right up there so that I'm right on the edge of the side of my card, and then I have about the same in the middle. So these are 5 1/4 by 4 inch pieces of Designer Series paper, and that is my base. Now, I'm going to do my flowers before I start adding any, before I do my greeting. So let me show you what we're going to do here first, because this needs to dry. I'm going to do my leaves first, and I'm actually using, this is the vellum that you can get in 3 different colors, and this is part of the Perennial Essence suite. And one of the cool things about this is that not only is there this cool punch that's part of this bundle, but this actually coordinates with our leaf punch. This leaf punch perfectly punches out this leaf. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the leaves on my vellum. Now, when you do that, vellum is not porous, and so it takes a while to dry. And so that is why I'm doing this right now. I need these to dry. Now, you can speed that up using your heat tool, and that definitely makes a difference. And I'm just giving enough space in between these. The reason I'm alternating is I can get more leaves out of my little piece of vellum. And I think, let's see, yeah, that should be enough. I think I did 4 on my original. So, as I said, I could speed this up and heat tool it, but I'm just going to set that aside and let it dry while I'm stamping the rest of my project. And the next thing I'm going to do is get an inky part. This is the fun part, because we are going to use a baby wipe to create a little palette of color. So I'm just using an ordinary baby wipe. I will tell you that I prefer to have baby wipes that are a little bit on the drier side, and because they can end up giving you too much ink. If that does happen where you get too much ink and it gets all kind of squishy on you, you can just dab your baby wipe with a paper towel and it will dry it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm using my Stampin' Up! My ink refills. These are phenomenal for doing lots of different techniques. And because the Rich Razzleberry is such a deep color, I'm only putting a little bit here. And then I'm going to add quite a bit of the Mango Melody, because that color is lighter and I don't want things to get overshadowed too much with that color. Now, where's my piece of Whisper White? Yeah, I guess I'm going to do this. Okay, so this is just a piece of Whisper White scrap that I had. Hi, Crystal, I'm glad you joined us. I was scoring and I messed up, so that's how this became a scrap. I'm just going to swipe this across, and you can see how I'm getting these beautiful colors. Now, I can take some of this if I want to, and I can go back and blend. You see how if I take some of that and blend a little bit more of the the Rich Razzleberry in there, it will, when I put the two colors together, they sort of get a little bit deeper. So you can kind of come back and play with this. You see how that's creating a little bit more of a deeper orange. So you can just have fun with this and play with it. I actually, for this particular project, I didn't want any white left. So you can kind of, again, play with that. Sometimes you want a little bit of white. On this one, I did not. So I have a beautiful piece of custom paper, and yeah, I'm gonna just kind of blend that out a little bit so that my Rich Razzleberry is pretty bright there. Okay, so yeah, you're gonna have a little mess on your hands and that is just part of the process, but you do wanna make sure they're not inky when you go to, see all that on the back, when you go to stamp. So I'm gonna let that actually dry for just a minute. I think, let me see, what could I do while that's drying? Oh, I know what I can do. I'm gonna get another, I'm just gonna throw this away. You could use this on multiple, you know, this takes a while to dry, so you could use this on multiple sheets and make a lot of the paper with that. I'm gonna go ahead and get my hands cleaned up here so that I don't get these colors on everything else that I'm doing. And I'm just going to also wipe this down. And I did this, you know, intentionally because what I like about this is now my paper is dry. If you start using a lot of this on your paper, it's going to get really wet. Okay. So that is dry. And what I decided to do was, because this is a fancy card, to me, when you have a really fancy card and you open it up and you don't have a panel on the inside, it looks a bit plain. So, but you can write on this because it's a nice bright color. I opted to put Purple Posy on the inside. Hello there, Eileen. I'm glad you've joined us as well. So I've got a piece, just a panel of Purple Posy, and I'm going to pop that on the inside here. And what I like about this, I guess this project, as well as this technique, the baby wipe technique, is I like being able to take flowers into fall. It's not just about leaves in the fall and not just about pumpkins, but you can do some cool flowers as well. Okay, I think that this is sufficiently dry that I can stamp on it and not have a lot of smudging. Now, I have personally a passion, I guess you could say, or a strong preference for doing projects that use just one ink pad when you're stamping. So all of this stamping is done with my Mossy Meadow ink pad. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come along here and stamp. And this is that gorgeous, gorgeous flower. And I'll show you how it's going to become gorgeous. Again, this is a photopolymer stamp. It's actually stamping beautifully. I don't even have a pad underneath me, and it's just stamping beautifully. But I do like to hold the stamp in place for several seconds and make sure that my ink is really connecting and being embraced by my paper. You can see where I want to make sure that I don't end up having my flowers so close that when I go to punch them out, that they don't have enough room. So here we go. I think I need, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, let's see. Can't remember exactly how many I needed. Okay. This is going to have to do. Okay. So what we're going to do now is take the Perennial Essence punch. There's a name for this punch, but I can't think of it. That's part of this bundle. Now you can see how once you start punching these flowers out, or really, it's really not a flower, it's a set of 3 petals, that it really, you can see how all the variations of color are really going to come into play. Now, this particular Whisper White that I'm using is actually the thick Whisper White. On my original, I used regular. They both work. The thick, of course, because you're dampening your cardstock a fair bit. Just, has that bit more heft. But either one will work, and the reason I grabbed thick for this one is, quite honestly, that was what was in my scrap bin. I am a resourceful girl when I cook, and just when I create. I think when I cook and when I stamp, I tend to use what I have. And if I have a bunch of something in particular, that's going to become a project, like a swap or something. And this was created for my Learn and Earn Technique Club. So that meets tonight, and my club, we have club members who sign up for a 6-month commitment, and they place a $25 minimum order each month, and then 1 month they get to be the hostess, and so they get the free things. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I've got plenty. And I call it Learn and Earn because we do learn techniques each month, and then we call it Earn because they earn free. Stampin' Up! Rewards. I'm going to just use this because it's quicker than doing. What am I trying to say? Than doing my my snail. And you can see where I'm kind of alternating so that I've got more of the mango and more of the, you know what? I think it's not sticking because my cardstock is still a bit damp. Let's see. Is that going to hold? Yeah. Okay. I just need to press it together a little bit. Sometimes, glue dots are just easy, and they're super sticky. So typically they're going to really hold whatever you're doing. So this is the kind of base flower that you create with this punch. But what I'm going to do is I am going to grab my paper snips, and on these I'm going to pull these and make several petals, and that is going to allow me to build up my flower. So let me grab, I think I need about 5 per flower, and these are going to look like beautiful variegated flowers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these onto a piece, just a circle. It could be any color, it could be a scrap, whatever. The reason I'm doing that is because it's going to make it easy to pop these in. You see how if you're just doing that on here, then you have to put a whole bunch of adhesive on the back, and it gets, you know, it's just more fiddly. And I like ease when I'm crafting. So now if I just pop that like so, I can lift this up and tuck that in. And I am going to do that for each one so that I will have a double flower effectively. Oopsie. Yeah, see, that is just, it's not liking. My cardstock is still a bit damp from all of that ink. So if you're not doing this on camera, you can let it dry a little bit, or you could run your heat tool over it. It's still, phooey. Let's see, maybe I can go on the other side where there's not all that ink. Maybe that's going to be my, yeah, if I use it on the white side on the back, then it's adhering a little bit more readily. So I guess I need to do that. And then you just tuck them in. And you see how easy that is? But you see how you just end up getting a much larger flower. And, you know, you can, if you wanted to, you know, you can kind of play with how much of the mango and how much of the raspberry is showing. But I kind of like it all. So I'm not too bothered. Okay, here we go. You can see how many glue dots I'm going to get through on this. But again, you know, glue dots are super easy and super sticky, so everything's going to hold together really well. And they're super affordable. I mean, I think, what are they, $5? And you get like 500, so it's a lot of glue dots. Okay, so you can see how I can just lift that up there and pop that in. So now I took this flower and I transformed it into a much larger flower just by adding more petals. So this one is done, and I don't, you know, I threw my baby wipe away. See if I can locate it. I honestly think I'm going to hit just that. I've got a couple of edges here that are white, and I really did not want that look. So totally unplanned. I hadn't done this before, but shows you how you basically have made like a little mini ink pad, and you can go back over and add some color even after you're done, which is kind of a cool option that you have. So again, this is the baby wipe technique. I'm going to clean my fingers again because I have just delved into more of that kind of mobile ink pad, as it were, kind of a homemade little ink pad. So now I'm going to take, whoopsie, yeah, see, these are just not holding together for me. Yes, now we're dry. And the other thing that happens is if your cardstock is still a bit wet, see how I've got a little bit of, it's kind of not giving me quite the crisp edges on there that you would typically have. So just a little warning on what happens when your cardstock is still wet. It doesn't stick well to adhesives, and it also kind of hangs on your punch a little bit. So I've got this here. Let's see, I think I need like either 5 or 6 of these. I think I need 6, so I'm gonna have to cut into one more of my flowers to get this out. Lots and lots of petals. And you can see how, I mean, you could even go one bigger. You could make another round with this. I think you could do this in Christmas colors and it would look really cool as well. So I think you have kind of endless possibilities with creating your flower. And this one is in these lovely fall colors. So talk to me, guys. Are you enjoying the fall weather? I've got no comments. I never get this where people are not commenting at all. Of course, you're probably at your desk at work and just kind of catching me on the fly while you're working, which is probably why you're being so quiet. Okay, one more. I need one more, and that's going to have to go a little farther down in there. There we go. I need one more petal, and there it is, right there. So actually, I probably could find something to do with that other petal here. There we go. Okay, let's see. There we go, there we go, there we go. Okay. So now I have two of these really nice fancy flowers. I'm going to make them a tiny bit fancier by adding some of the gold faceted gems. And it's really interesting how, you see how when you add the small one, how you get a lot more of the black around it? Well, it's actually green, but it ends up looking black. But if you do it this way, you see how different they can look? And I actually kind of like I think I like the smaller ones better because I wanted the flower to really, really shine, the colors on the flower. But you get different looks with these gold faceted gems. Okay, so now I am ready to build my card. Well, I need one more thing, and that is, let's see, have these dried? Not totally, but pretty close. And the way you can tell when these have dried on the vellum is that they will cease to be shiny. They will have a dull finish, but I think that they are dry enough to where I can punch them out and use them. Vellum kind of hangs in the punch a little bit sometimes because it's so thin. But I do like the look of this. It's much softer than if you were to stamp this and punch it out of cardstock. You see where I'm kind of not blurring, what's the word I'm looking for? Smearing a little bit because my ink is still a little tiny bit wet. Okay, here we go. One more, and then I'm just going to stamp my greeting, and we are ready to build this card. So somewhere here in my supplies, I have a little stitched oval. This is from the Stitched Shapes dies, an absolute must-have in my opinion. If you have any dies at all, the Stitched Shapes gives you some, I think about 3 or 4 of the oval stitched, and then you have about that many of the squares and then circles. Now I'm going to come down here because I'm going to tuck the left side of this oval underneath my flowers. Okay, so now I am ready to finalize this, and what I'm going to use is lots of dimensionals. Well, I take that back. I'm actually going to use some dimensionals and more glue dots. Hey, Paulette, I'm glad you're doing some cards while you're watching. That's a good thing to be doing. I'd love to see your cards. Maybe you can post them. I know you can't post them. I don't think you can post them while we're doing live. I've tried to make that happen with Team, but I don't think you can actually do it when you're doing a live, but maybe you can post them afterwards. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to pop it right up here, kind of at the top and the center. And then I'm going to take my other flower and I'm going to put it a little bit over to the side so that I can tuck my greeting in. And you see how you can either just kind of lap those, let them kind of lap over each other. And then I'm going to take that and just pop it right in there, or I could pop it up here. I think I'm going to pop it up a little bit higher, and I'm just going to use some snail to do that. So you can see how the baby wipe technique is really quick, but it really can give you some very custom colors and also a really cool artsy look. I think this just has a very different look than if you were just to stamp it and sponge it or stamp it with certain, with a color, and that would be it. So it has a real artsy look, and that's really what I was going for. I'm going to add just a little bit of snail to these and then tuck them in. I think I'm going to add one right here so that it kind of goes into my label. And honestly, that looks really good right there, but the way this card is, it's a fancier card, and so I'm going to add a few more of these. And the vellum, although it takes a little bit of doing to get the ink on it, the adhesive is really easy with it. So I'm going to tuck that leaf right in there, and then tuck one more with that to kind of give it a little bit more oomph, a little bit more heft, more of a kind of full, I guess is the word I'm looking for, kind of a fuller leaf look. And then honestly, I don't even think it needs this other one. I could add one more. Maybe, yeah, maybe I will. Because I have it already stamped and punched, I might as well use it. I could tuck it on the inside, but we will just do that. I think that's kind of nice. And then we are done. Now I could always add that in there. I could add a second one in there if I wanted to. But I think honestly, it's really good. Hey, Carlos, I'm glad you're here. Hope you are still on. Yes, you are watching and I am here. So this is what we are doing for my Learn and Earn Stamp Club tonight. This is one of 2 cards with our baby wipe technique. And I hope you like it. I love these colors. I think they're scrummy fall colors. And a little bit more on the elegant side, which is kind of where I tend to land. So anyway, I hope you like that. Remember that you can get the Everything is Rosy from the clearance rack right now at 15% off. So if you missed this kit from before, or you're just now finding out about it, you want to run and get that. I do have a host code for you. So if you would like to place an order in my online store, it's candystamps.stampinup.net. And if you use this host code, I will send you some PDF tutorials. For any size order, I will send you some PDF tutorials. So again, there is my fall card. You know, the colors, the way these colors turned out, I can already tell. This, to me, these flowers are reminiscent of pansies. And of course, pansies are fall. And even though these have more of a pointed end rather than the round pansies and the pansy faces, they just kind of have that, they have that look. And you can see how, regardless of which patterns of paper that you use, or, you know, how you arrange them, they're equally nice. So that is, I'm going to say goodbye to you here. That is my Tuesday at 2 stamping for you today. I hope you enjoyed our project. We did a technique, and the technique is called the baby wipe. Whoa, baby wipe technique. I haven't done that in a long time, where I kind of had you going in different directions. Whoa, it's because, yeah. I tried to do something different with my my little, what do you call it, tripod. Anyway, that is it for me today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And again, I have my host code here, and you can hop over to my online store, get Everything is Rosy at a discount, 15% off, or anything else that you would like, anything else you need for your stamping for fall. And I really appreciate you watching, and I will be back here for Tuesday at 2 again next week. In the meantime, take care and God bless.